Hey, what's happening? What's happening? What's going on, y'all? Listen, man, Massive Action Monday. My name is Chris Williams. You are now watching the Grow Your Side Business show where I help corporate employees, ambitious employees, in fact, grow a profitable side business. You can go to growyoursidebusiness.com where you can learn all of the great information, goodies, tips, and tricks. But guess what? It's Monday. As you know, every single Monday, we are here for Massive Action Monday. That's right. Why Massive Action Monday? Because my definition of massive action is those who execute above the average. That's why you're here. That's why you're tuned in. So today, what we're going to do is we're actually going to cover something that has been a way that I typically would handle most of my reasons for not doing things. And I've heard these particular excuses from a lot of people, including myself. And so I wanted to go ahead and address these right now because many of you are really thinking about, man, I could do this, I can do this, I could do this, but then you don't do anything. So what I wanted to do today was address the 10 excuses that we all make for not building our side business, okay? And so, and at the end, I'll kind of give you a couple other things that I want to share with you, but I want to dive into this right now. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and share these 10 with you so you can have access to these, and we're going to write and we're going to talk about these. So here are the 10 excuses that honestly suck. They really do suck. Okay. And we're going to walk through each one of these because what I realize is that for many of us, when we think about why we don't have something, we never factor in the excuses that are tied to those. All right. So let's start with this first one. This first one says, I don't have enough time. Let's just get this one out of the way. Do you realize that when we say we don't have enough time, what we're really saying is, I'm not willing to, and I'm just going to put this here, I'm not willing to commit the amount of time that it actually is going to take for this side business to grow. See, here's a little, math you can do. All right. If you every weekend are watching sports, let's say you watch football on the weekends, Saturday college football, that's about 3 to 6 hours, depending on how many teams you're watching at a particular time. Let's say on Sunday you're watching NFL football. That includes probably another 6 to 8 hours that people will literally sit and watch football with their friends or just at home by themselves on the road, whatever the case may be. So if I took 6 hours and I took another 8 hours, ladies and gentlemen, that's a lot of time on a weekend that if I reduced my entertainment time, then guess what? I would have time in order to be able to build my side business. In fact, let's take it a step further. I didn't include your Netflix and chill time. I didn't include you binge watching your favorite series. I didn't include basketball when it comes around. And I'm a huge NBA fan, so trust me, I'm not just saying this to say this. I struggle with it too. But you got to think about all of the time that you spend doing other things, thumb flicking on our cell phones. I mean, come on, y'all. Social media, there's so many different things that are time sucks. And this particular one, when we say we don't have time, no, it's not that we don't have time. We just don't want to commit the time that it's going to take in order for us to build. So that's the first one. All right. So I think we've killed the first one. So why don't we scratch through that one? All right. The second one here, and let me give you a couple of quotes and some other things that I wanted to share with you, about these. I think when you think about that, just again, prioritize your time and make sure that when you're prioritizing in a healthy way, okay? There's a really cool quote that I heard. I don't know who said it, but they said, listen, you and Beyonce have the same amount of time in a day. So you and I and Beyonce all have the same amount of time in a day. She seems to still get things done and be able to put out killer albums and meet all her demands and all of that. You and I have some work to do in order to be able to build what we're trying to build. All right. So that's the first one. Second one is, I don't have enough money. How many of us have said this one before, right? I don't have enough money. And the quote I'll share here with you is that it's not about the amount of resources that you have, but it's about the resourcefulness of which you have, right? So how resourceful are you? That's a Tony Robbins quote. It's about how resourceful are you actually in getting what you're trying to accomplish, right? My writings is terrible, but you didn't come here for my writing. You came here for some knowledge and some information, right? But you guys tell me, like, when you think about it, how many times, and I know I've said it plenty of times, I just don't have the money for that, which is interesting because we don't say that about the pair of shoes we're going to buy. We don't say that about that shirt. We don't say that about that club. We don't say that about that trip. There's a lot of things we don't say that for. We don't even say that when our kids want something. You know what we tend to do when our kids say they want to go on that camping thing, or they want to go on that field trip, or they want to go here? Guess what we become? Very resourceful. We figure it out. And it's too often you're willing to figure out everything else for everyone else except for yourself. And I want you to stop that. That's why you're here on Massive Action Monday, all right? So we've killed that particular one, okay? So when you think of resourcefulness, I want you to also think about how you can be open and start using the language of a resourceful person. Most people, when they see something, they immediately allow their brain to tell them what they can't do, instead of saying, what would have to happen in order to make this true? So some of it is learning the inner language that we share. You know, and the key is to start with low things that you know you can control, right? Like, again, mindset shift. Just changing even the language by which you approach a particular thing that you need to do when it comes to money can drastically change how you go about getting those things done. All right. That's number 2. Number 3, I'm not sure of what kind of business to start. Okay. So when we think about this one, I've mentioned this before, but I think it bears, repeating. You have skills, you have things that interest you, and you also have an understanding about certain pieces when it comes to your job and other things, right? Like I've talked to you before about the triangle of value. If you didn't watch the video of triangle of value, make sure you go watch that. You're going to watch, there's a video I've got, 3 things that lead to higher paychecks. Go watch that video because it will really help you understand the 3-fold triangle that you have in your hands right now. Your practice, your profession, and your principles, okay? So what you've got to start doing is giving yourself permission to explore, giving yourself permission to look around, giving yourself permission to go try some stuff. Oh yeah, go try some stuff and allow yourself to win and have some failures and have some learnings. And we're going to address failure in a moment, but I really want you to start doing that because it's really important that you expand yourself in the ways of your experience, leveraging your current skill sets. There's a great quote by Steve Jobs that says, the only way to do great work is to love what you do. Now, it's harder sometimes, depending on the type of day job you have and the things that you're responsible for, but that does not mean it's impossible. How do I know? I'm a prime living example. You can do what you love while also building a side business. All right. So we killed that particular one. All right. Next one. I'm not good at selling or marketing. Now, this particular excuse sounds really valid on the surface. Oh, it does. Oh, on the surface, it sounds like, no, I'm really bad. I'm not good at selling or marketing. Okay. How did you get your job? What did you have to do in order for you to be in the role that you are in today? How did you get your spouse? How did you date that guy? How did you date that girl? How did you find your car? How did you sell your used car? See, it's not, when the unfortunate part is many of us have had bad experiences around people who sell things and marketing. But can I tell you something? The reason why you have the clothes you have on, the shoes you buy, the stores that you swear by and that you shop in is because they sold it to you well. It's because they did a really good job of marketing to you. And marketing, honestly, is just repeating to you the value that they have or getting in front of you over and over and over again until you're willing to come anyway. You have been selling yourself, to your spouse, to your kids, to your community, to everyone for as long as you've been alive. Now, learning how to do it better, that's a skill. That's something that you're going to need to learn. Here's a good quote for you. The best marketing strategy ever. That's Gary Vaynerchuk. That's not mine. It's a great quote, though. See, we think that selling has to be this flashy thing or this thing that is like over the top all the time. While that could be the case, even if you have no money, one of the best ways to market is to show people that you actually care about helping them achieve the thing that you know you're uniquely qualified to help them with, and your skill set backs it up and says so. That's how you market, ladies and gentlemen. So you can start with that one right there. Okay, let's knock that one off the list. All right, we're going down this list, y'all. Listen, I just want to eliminate all these excuses. Okay, let me know when not hit the one that you've been on before. All right, I'm afraid of failure. Now, can I tell you something? I'm gonna be completely transparent here. I am the guy that does not like to fail. So at times when I notice something that needs to be made, I will absolutely 1000% all day until it hurts procrastinate. Yeah, I'm that guy. Yes, I know you see me post a lot of stuff. Yes, you see me, but I am the king of procrastinating on things that I need to get done. Because in the back of my mind, I'm like, man, what if I put this out and it fails? Y'all ever been there before? Like, if you go back and think about, like, why do you delay? What takes you so long to get something done that's like really simple? It's just sometimes, I know for myself, I can speak for me, I know that I'm putting myself out there again, and I'm just afraid of failing. Thomas Edison talks about that he didn't fail. He found 10,000 ways that it didn't work. Excuse me. And the question becomes, are you okay with finding the multiple ways that something doesn't work until you find the way that it does? Here's the other thing that you gotta know. Failure is just as normal when you start talking about this journey in entrepreneurship is breathing. Your journey is testing and learning a ton of stuff. You're going to throw something out there. You're going to see if it bites. You're going to throw something out there and some people like it and you're trying to figure out why. You're going to throw something else out there and it's going to fall across and not even stick. Okay. Why didn't it stick? What didn't people like about it? The entire game is, are you willing to test and learn more than the next person when it comes to what you provide the marketplace with your side business? All right. So there's that one. Okay. Next one. I don't know how to get started. Man, this is one of those excuses your brain allows you to get comfortable with only because it doesn't feel like working. You do know that the laziest part of your body is your brain, right? Like, it does not want to have to learn new things. You have to force yourself, literally force yourself to be willing to learn some new things. So when you think about when we say that to ourselves, what does it do? It gets us off the hook from actually having to move forward. And it's a comfort excuse, right? It's a great comfort excuse. Let me give you this one. When we say that, one of the things about that is that sometimes what we want and what it's going to take for us to get there is this really big jump. Here's what I'm going to ask you to do. If you don't know how to get started, who's someone that you can plug into that can hold your hand and walk you through step by step? I have a Side Hustle Secrets course available for you right now. I don't know where to start. We can kill all that noise. We can stop all those excuses. The answer's right there. I saw something recently that was really cool this weekend. It was a conversation that Elon Musk had at his Silicon Valley day of his investor day. And he said, it was so mind-blowing. He said, the universe already has the answers. Do I know what question to ask? See, sometimes our excuses stop us from learning to ask the right questions. So it's not, I don't know how to get started. The question is, what could I start with right now that would get me moving in the right direction, of building this thing the right way? Where could I go to plug into the right resources so that I no longer am battling with that excuse? Because the longer you hold on to that excuse, the more ingrained it gets, and the more that many of us will fight for limiting beliefs. All these 10 excuses that suck, by the way, they're just limiting beliefs. Not of the product, the service, the people that are out there or anything. It's about ourselves, right? So that's really important. Let me give you a quote for this one. I'm full of quotes, y'all. I wrote down like all these quotes. And I think they're important because they help us understand, how to navigate these moments. Zig Ziglar once said, "You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great." I can remember the first month of my first side business. I got started, and my wife would call it as ignorance on fire. I didn't know enough to not know what I was doing. If that makes sense. Like, I really didn't know. I just followed a coach who was giving us the play. And what I really did was turned off my brain. I just followed. Because many of us who have corporate titles, and we're whoever we are in corporate, we don't like feeling the novice feelings that we get when we're putting ourselves out there and building a side business. So we'll make an excuse like, I don't know how to get started, because it feels better. Because it allows me to stay in this, I am Mr. or Mrs. whoever, right? In building what I'm doing, right? All right, here we go. All right, I see some thumbs up and I see some people responding. All right, we're almost there. We're almost there. All right, the next one. I don't have enough support or encouragement from my friends. Okay. Now, this one initially is what I call a maturity assessment of ourselves. Why is that? So I remember like the first 3 to 4 months of building my first side business, I was talking to everybody. But then I realized, wait a second. I'm talking to everybody, but look who's actually buying. And the people that were actually buying weren't necessarily the people that I knew initially. Here's the other important part. The next year, the year after that, and the year after that, it got further and further away from the people that I knew. And I was doing health and wellness, and I'm helping people actually be able to get rid of, I grew up, I tell the story about, almost dying from an asthma attack in my sleep. And a friend of my wife said, hey, you guys need to look at what you're using from a cleaning product standpoint. Saw it, made the changes, made my life better, started helping other people. Life was great. But what I realized was the people's closest to me actually were not interested. And I used to let that get to me. And this is the first fork in the road when you're building your side business. When you first launch, you want everybody around you to support you. But what you don't realize is maybe the people around you aren't even your ideal customer to begin with. And now you have a fork in the road. Do I want to continue down this path? That's this fork in the road. And the fork in the road looks something like this. I'll just draw it down here. When you start your side business, you start here kind of on the starting block. And as you're going, you realize the people around you aren't actually buying from you. And then you figure out, wait a second, instead of getting upset about this, maybe there's one path this way and there's another path this way. This path over here says, you know what? I'll just stop because the people around me aren't buying. There's another path that says, let me find what I'll call my ideal customer. I've got to go find more of them. And they may be so far from you and your comfort zone and your circle that it could feel overwhelming at times. And many of us get stuck because what we don't want to do is we don't want to let go of the familiar. So the reason why this is such a sucking excuse is because it sucks the potential life out of our side business, because what we're really saying is, I just want my family and friends I just want my family and friends to keep buying from me over and over and over again. And you might not have a product or a service that warrants them to do that. More importantly, your actual ideal buyer is sitting out there somewhere on the internet, but because you won't show up, they'll never know you exist. So you know what they continue to do? Buy from somebody who's there. Right? All right. So this excuse is really just one of a maturity as you learn to grow building your side business. Now, Franklin D. Roosevelt said this: the only limit to our realization of tomorrow will be our doubts of today. If you really think that there are not enough people in this 8 billion human existence of folks out here that walk on 2 legs, if you think there aren't enough people on this planet that would actually come for your product or service and happily pay you, then what you've done is you've allowed your doubts, your fears, and insecurities to literally limit how much money you'll make over your lifetime. We've got to get in control of the noise that's happening in between our 6 inches. We have to get in control of that, because if we don't, we're going to be in a bad place. You got to start looking for a community of people who are out here building and growing their side business and doing the same thing that you're doing and hitting the same hurdles, but they help you and have support. That is why we have the Facebook group here. The Side Business Builders Group is that community. We're here to talk about those things, have those discussions, help each other out, celebrate when we have a win, hold somebody up when we fall apart. All right. So there's that one. Oh, sorry, wrong one. Okay, next one. I don't have the necessary skills or knowledge. This is another excuse that we like to tell ourselves, and it makes us feel good simply for the fact that it gets us off the hook from having to learn. Okay? You have to invest in your own education and training, and you have to be willing to get out here and learn what you don't know. If it's critical to the success of the start of your side business, you need to learn it. You need to have an attitude, a can-do attitude, and put yourself back in school and be a learner. Be willing to absorb the information and go out and do the thing that you're learning. Let me give you a quote for this one. The future belongs to those who learn more skills and combine them in creative ways. That's Robert Greene. That's the future. If you're capped out and you already told yourself, well, I've been working my day job and I'm at this level, well, okay. I just want you to know your subconscious hears you and it takes you seriously. Every single thought and thing that you say. It does not know the difference between a joke or whether you're being serious. So think about that the next time we make that particular excuse. All right, next one. We're almost done, y'all. We're almost done. I'm already too busy with my day job. Okay, when we say we're already too busy for our day job, Charles Buxton said you will never find time for anything. If you want time, you must make it. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you. When you think about not finding time, you're already too busy with your day job. I want to go back to the first one. How committed are you to building the type of financial life that is independent from the day job? Are you willing to let go of those things that we talked about in number 1? Netflix and chill, sports for a while, frivolous spending, all those different things. Are you willing to let go of social media for a minute? Unless you're using it to promote and grow your business. Otherwise, you put it down. Are you willing to change how you show up on social media? Because it's not about the 8 hours that you're working in your day job. It's about what you're willing to actually do when you're not at work. You don't work 24 hours a day. So even if you said, Chris, all I got is 2 hours, how effective are you leveraging those 2 hours every single day? Because the compound effect of doing 2 hours a day in your side business over time is much better than thinking you got to have 8 hours a day to build your business. All right. Okay. There's that one. The last one is this one. I'm not sure if the effort is worth it. Again, this is another one of those fear-based excuses that our brain will give us so that we don't move, because it does not like to be put in uncomfortable spaces and having to learn something new. Okay? You've got to define what your goals are for your side business. You have to. Here's the other thing. You got to remind yourself, this is a really important one, why you are doing this. If your children are young right now and you're trying to start a side business, you might need money for their college. I think it's a good idea to start that now. And both of you, husband and wife, should be involved. Figure out how you can work together, how you can leverage each other's strengths. See, sometimes we're trying to just do it by ourselves, knowing we have a spouse there. No, they have strengths and skills too. They can help incorporate that and accelerate the maturation journey of you building your side business. Now, let me give you a quote for this one too, because I actually like this one. This is one that I feel all the time. I will tell you, this last excuse is one that I'm constantly wrestling with. Albert Einstein said, I tried 99 times and I failed. But that 100th time, that's when it became a success. You ever see these books where people, or these titles that people put out there, overnight success? Yeah, and most overnight successes, when you dive into their story, took them 15, 20 years. But to the rest of the world, oh, wow, they just burst on the scene. And you're like, no, not actually. I've been doing this for quite a while, right? I've been doing this podcast since 2016. I've been talking about growing a side business and building and talking to people and getting to know, and I've been doing it for a long time. I've been training corporately for 17 years. I'm combining my skill sets and what I'm good at in order to be able to help other people who are growing and effective and who want to grow an effective, profitable side business. Okay? So when you think if it's not worth effort, ask yourself why. Is it for those children? Is it for your wife? Is it for yourself? So that you can prove to yourself you're not wrong about how you feel. You're meant for more. You can creatively build something leveraging those skill sets for you and your family to enjoy, but more importantly, you come alive. Too many of us are going to work as zombies, and we're not alive yet. But you got to dig down deep and ask yourself, why would I do this? Because I promise you, if you're like me, I struggled with this one so bad. I struggled with that one so bad. And even to this day, I have to catch myself and go, nope, Chris, you got a strong enough why though. That's why you keep going. So listen, I hope this was helpful to you. I wanted to go through these 10 excuses, and they really do suck. But here's the thing. I want you to turn these around until they turn into the reverse of them. So let's go back and look at them. When we say we don't have enough time, hold up. When we say we don't have enough time, let's be honest. I do have enough time. I just have to find it. When we say I don't have enough money, we say, no, I do have money. I just got to be resourceful in the way I use it. I'm not sure if this is what kind of business to start. I have a business already inside of me, leveraging my current skill sets and assets. I just got to put it in place in a particular modality. I'm not good at selling or marketing. I've been marketing myself all my life. That's why I kept this job for so many years. I'm afraid of failure. I've been looking to fail everywhere I go. I got married. I started driving. I rode a bike. I've been practicing and failing all of my life. It is okay for me to do so. I don't know how to get started. I have started so many things in my life. I'm good at starting things. I like starting things because it gives me an opportunity to learn something new. I don't have enough support or encouragement from my family and friends. I do have the support. It just might not be monetarily. And the real support that I'm looking for is customers to serve of my product and service. So you know what? They are out there. I just got to let them know that I exist. I don't have the necessary skills and knowledge. You've been in your day job for umpteenth amount of years. You have all the skills and knowledge you need. You just need to package it in a way for someone else to be willing to purchase it so that they can learn as well. I'm already too busy with my day job. Your day job does not control all 24 hours of your day. You do have the time. You've got to make it a priority to build this side business. And lastly, I'm not sure if it's worth the effort. It is absolutely worth the effort. Why? Because when I build this side business, I will have the financial independence and the creative freedom and the closeness of my family to be able to live in the present and not fear the future. See how that works? It's pretty cool, right? Listen, if you enjoyed this, share this episode of Massive Action Monday with somebody. Leave a comment down below and give us a subscribe if you feel inclined. And join us back here every single Monday on Massive Action Monday, right here on Grow Your Side Business Podcast, where I help you as a corporate professional grow a profitable side business. Thank you so much for being here. Take care. And I can't wait to see you guys in the next episode.